What a way to start the last day of HR Week conference, right? So 3 keynotes, which were really inspirational. And now moving to the first panel of day 5. The moderator of the panel is Sonja Ivkovic. She's a doctor of psychological sciences by education, HR by choice. She has walked through almost all HR domains, but her first love is still development of employees. She's a certified to use Hogan and Insight Discovery methodology. Welcome, Sonja.
Well, Yara, thank you very much for this kind intro, and also HR World for having me here.
Thank you a lot. I will let you now introduce your panelists, and then we'll kick off with this session.
Oh, thank you. Well, first of all, hi all once again. It's really my great pleasure to be here and also in this great company. I will not let you wait for a long time. So for the first panelist, I kindly invite Sanja Evgenijevic. At the moment, she's Chief Operating Officer at Sopharma, but she will tell a few words about herself. So Sanja, hi and welcome.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for inviting me, and I'm happy to be part of this panel and together with my colleagues to talk about this interesting topic on a relationship and bonding between CEO and Chief HR Officer. I'm business executive who happens to be in HR field. I'm a mechanical engineer and executive master in HR. I have pretty stable career in HR for almost 20 years. Out of which 17 years in retail and the last 3 years in pharma industry. My role is to build capabilities, drive towards top business performance, but above all, to change what we as an organization can do, what our people can deliver and do, and to create a winning culture and great results. I'm enjoying and loving what I do.
Well, that's really important. Thank you very much. The second lady for today would be Bojana Vesić-Antić. Bojana, hello. She's currently at the position of HR Director at G4S. I said it right because I always say 4GS. Probably there are a lot of people like me. So can I kindly ask you for a quick intro about yourself?
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting me to this panel. I have been in HR for more than 15 years, and I accidentally found myself in that field 15 years ago when I joined Piraeus Bank on a position of a recruiter and junior position for selection and recruitment. Soon after that, I realized that it is my career is in this field, and I started to develop myself, went through many education and many courses and seminars on this topic, whatever I could find on the market. And I spent 13 years in banking industry, 1 year in retail industry, and now I'm in the security industry, which is a great, experience for me. And what Sanja said, and I really can confirm, I'm really enjoying my job and my work. So no matter how difficult and hard it is, and no matter how much of overtime I have to deliver, like working on weekends and so on and so forth, this is actually something that is my life.
Well, thank you very much, Bojana. And last but not least, Robert, can I welcome you here? Robert has a unique experience in this company because with Robert here, we have a double agent because he initially comes from a business side and now at the HR role. So it would be interesting to hear your opinion on this topic, and I kindly ask you for a quick introduction.
Yes, thank you, Sonja, and thank you for having me here. I'm very happy to be part of this amazing event. Yes, as you said, my background is a little bit different. I'm coming from business. I'm an economist by profession. My background in health is dating back, and I'm coming from sales. And for more than 20 years within our company, I was mainly on executive roles. At some point of time, I was running our operations in Montenegro as executive director. Later, I came back to Serbia, took over sales in our headquarters for all markets. Afterwards, I spent some time in Africa as well, almost 6 years, developing our business in 5 markets in Africa. Since 2017, I'm back to headquarters Serbia. I was running our business in Serbia as well as executive director, and since last year, I'm chief HR officer of Net Group. So actually, I'm the least experienced HR out of all the guests here, but as I said, I have a great experience in this, and also my background is a great team, truly wonderful people and outstanding professionals I'm working with, and I'm very excited to be part of this team. I believe I can learn a lot of them from regarding this role, but also to bring, let's say, some other perspective and closer connection of HR function to the business, and vice versa. So I believe this is the best value actually that I can bring to the company, to people, and to our HR department as well.
And today for us as well. Thank you for that in advance. So, the topic of this panel is how to build an epic relationship CEO-CHRO, but let us start from the beginning. So, to whom HR reports to? Would it be CEO, CPO, CFO, whatever executive board member, or would it be to employees? So, Sanja, what do you think?
Well, I would start from the beginning. First of all, as I said, Chief HR Officer is first of all business leader. And then we can talk about HR being passionate for people, change, culture, and so on. In such environment like we are today, turbulent situation, COVID, changing environment every day, HR should be the one who will keep strategy and culture as a top agenda of executive team, and at the same time should help strategy and leadership drives strong culture outcomes. So basically, it is important that HR as a strategic partner ensure that critical issues are addressed and talked in the boardroom, especially today. For example, in COVID time, HR should be the loudest voice in the boardroom because we have to secure a lot of things. And we are the ones who should support the situation, support our people, support business, stay ahead and secure what we have planned, no matter on the circumstances that we are facing. So to achieve all of this, yes, Chief HR Officer should have some official reporting lines. And my perspective is that should be to the CEO. But at the same time, as said, Chief HR Officer drive engagement, create this winning culture for all associates. And that makes him or her recognized leader to whom associates then trust, no matter on those official reporting lines. So trust and recognized leadership for what we do matters much more than reporting lines. So that would be my answer to your questions.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. So Bojana, the same question to you, but when we come to these report lines, we can maybe see them also in an abstract level. So what do you think where your heart goes?
Okay, my heart goes with the company and with the most strategic decisions, which definitely comes from the CEO. So I think that this bonding and this relationship between CEO and CHRO is of crucial importance for the strategy of the company. HR, who is not, strategic partner, who is not a member of executive board or a board, one of the three key people in the company, CEO, CFO, and HR, is not properly, embedded HR into organization, because whenever it comes to the business and to the strategy decisions, HR should be the one, CHRO should be the one who should be, as Sanja said, really, and I support it the loudest, and should really take care and make sure that this strategy is cascaded down to all levels. So without this, bonding with the CEO and this strategic relationship, I think that none company can be successful.
Thank you, Robert. Same to you, but I will add something more, having in mind your previous experience. So what do you think? Was it easy to you to be connected to HR, or did you expect the HR to report to you or to take the side of the employees? Because sometimes we see that as two different sides, but we are actually one side on the same goal. Let's get back to reality.
It's a great question, and basically in the context of the question you put, to whom HR reports, because I was, as you said, from the both sides, and currently I'm from the side of the HR. I would say actually both. However, on daily basis, we tend to forget that. Often, even today, I catch myself in the same situation. In real life, real business environment, the usual business task often prevail. So basically, what we end up is, preparing reports, explaining to our boss, CEO, board, or else. I mean, what's going on with the figures, headcount, budget versus year ago versus budget objectives, etc., etc. So actually, there is nothing wrong with it, and it's normal. And I would say it's normal until it becomes our dominant way of working. Until we forget that, although HR as a corporate function formally reports to CEO or to the board, at the end of the day, people turn to us. People turn to HR when it comes to any topic which concerns them. For example, I don't know, this could be changes within the company, organizational culture issues, personal issues, business issues. I mean, they turn to us, and therefore, we report as HR to people as well. We need to feel this responsibility to establish harmony among all the departments, among processes, among people, to provide meaningful jobs, give purpose, and be clear about what their job actually contributes to the business. And this is the responsibility we bear on our hands. On our hands, actually, we are responsible to be clear, transparent regarding all the HR processes, recruitment, people capability, motivation, performance, or managing talents, which is actually crucial for performance. So, although I believe it's not the sole responsibility of HR department, but when it comes to organizational culture or overall employee experience in the company, we must be aware of our role. People by default turns to HR. So what I liked, I read it some time ago. Like, we should move more from please the boss mode to employee intimacy, to turn to people, to detach ourselves as HR from this kind of paradigm, like, we are management, aristocracy, we handle the CEO, etc. Yes, that's one part of the business, but at the end of the day, we should as well be close to people, because we know how to connect people with the business. So definitely, we report to entire organization, business, and yes, we report to CEO as well.
Well, it's not such an easy task when you present it like that. Well, thank you.
Yeah, that's the life of HR.
The life of HR. So we understand that CEO, CHRO relationship is important, because there is you cannot cascade something if you do not know what the strategy is. But if we somehow skip this strategy part, why that relationship is important, but for real? Sanja, what do you think?
Yeah. I would say it's important relationship, it's important this bonding, because it's really visible in the organization. People feel and sense how those two really connect and interact through the way how we are doing things, through the values, are we living them or not? The two of them are in fact creating together and shaping together the business strategy, but the culture of the organization. So it is really important that the two of them do have the trust in each other, and also to respect each other and the judgment and opinion that they have. For example, in my experience, all high-performing leaders, including CEOs, of course, are really focused on results, business outcomes, KPIs, all that is financial, let's say, related perspective. And in pursuing those financial targets, they usually lost connection to people and the importance of the relationship and the non-financial part of the target that really do create this long-term and sustainable success of the company. Chief HR officer as coach and trusted advisor to the board and also to the CEO should, among other tasks, help them balance those financial and non-financial goals, and help them bond with people to avoid burnout, stress, especially in current circumstances, and to achieve, as I said, long-term success. So CEO and other leaders overseas remote working, developing new working plans in this situation, to stay calm, to stay productive. We also help them secure medical resources in COVID situation, financial resources, and so on and so on. It is not just medical and healthcare issue, but also people issue, and special attention should be on emotional well-being of our associates. So you can, as you probably all felt and sense, see a lot of CEOs mentioning that HR is still just administration roles, that they cannot rely on strategic things and so on. But also it's up to the CEO to help their HRs make this quantum leap and become strategic partners in this relationship, so they can help them raise as well, not just, just expecting us being strategic as we should be. I had really a luck in my career to have great leaders that could help me, could support me, that give me opportunity for my personal development so I can be today who I am. As I said, those relationships sometimes are very successful, sometimes they are less successful. For example, when I could not create such a link or click with my CEO, I would leave the company. That happened once, but it happened. It is important to create the frame how to build and assure this relationship. This is also very important. To be very honest, very transparent, to shape this frame, to reflect on each other. So because all of this that I mentioned, CEO and Chief HR Officer bond is very important. This bonding builds trust and relationship across the organization and drives engagement of all people. This is the base foundation for a winning culture. So, yes. It's crucial.
Thank you. Bojana, what do you see different than Sanja just mentioned in this relationship?
There are no so many different things that I will say, because I fully agree that this relationship is, I would say, of utmost importance for the company and for the company strategy and for the people. Without this bonding and relationship and trust, there will be no, winning situation in the company. But I would just add one more thing. We are all professionals, and we all know theory and how it should be. But in real lives and, in real experience, you find, people which are totally different than you. They have different expectations and different way of showing things. So this is also this personal, issue that has to be, pro or con, in a relationship between CEO and CHRO. Because no matter how CHRO is professional and knows what it should be done, if there is no common understanding or a different way of, a different way of expressing it, or different understanding from the side of the CEO, there is no success in the company. So you cannot do many things in a company if it's not, if your CEO do not trust you, or thinks it should be done differently, or there are, quite some how to say, arguments and fights, if I can say, between these two. So that's why both, professionally and personally, these two people need to click. So if there is no such a click between two of them, there is no success. And I have had in my career several CEOs, and only once, as also I would say the same situation as it was with Sanja. Only once I didn't have that click. So when it happens and when it comes to that, you just leave the company and go on a different path. So yes, this is, for me, it's like I cannot do my job without this bonding in relationship with CEO.
With you. So thank you, Bojana. Robert, now I said it in English. Would it be something different in your opinion about this importance of this relationship?
Well, basically, I cannot agree more that it's very crucial, and from my personal experience, now talking about NELD Group business and my current role, it helps a lot that actually I'm coming from business when it comes to discussions with the CEO, because I understand deeply and in details our own business model, and we can talk the same language easily. We understand each other very well. But as well, very important part is that our CEO is as well very people oriented. So basically we always can have meaningful discussion. And what earlier was mentioned as well, this trust and open communication and relationship is the key. You know, on the strategic level, I truly believe as well what was mentioned, that this relationship among three core functions like CEO, CFO, and Chief HR Officer is crucial. And, you know, if I may add some, let's say, personal touch view on this, and to try to make it a little bit more interesting, if we look at from a musical perspective, everyone who listens rock or blues music, for example, knows that, you know, this power trio, drums, bass guitar, and guitar is necessary if you want a good groove, you know, in a band. And all the others you can add, keyboards and other things, horns or whatever. Same with the company, you know, this, as McKinsey call it, G3, or as I said, power trio, means that, you know, at the top of the companies, there should be this group of executives who are collaborating closely. So I would like always to add this CFO. Why? Because often, you know, we talk about finances, capital, etc. And at the end, we talk about people. These discussions should happen immediately. And this is exactly what we are as well trying to nurture within our company. Out of regular board meetings, etc., we need to have closer relationship, day-to-day discussions on different topics, to be informed and to be open and to criticize each other as well. I mean, openly. And this is why important to have a clear relationship based on trust and integrity from both sides, because of course integrity is extremely important on all the roles, but most probably on the roles of Chief HR Officer and HR department, it has some additional weight. So I think that integrity is well actually one of the key parameters. From the other side, I believe that for us as HR professionals, business acumen is very important, and this is the way where we should go more and more. Here, I don't mean that all of the HRs needs to have business acumen, but we need to have more business acumen in HR in order to connect better the processes, the people, the business, and actually to bring value. And this is what I believe CEOs as well are expecting from us as a function, I mean, in the future.
Yeah. So thank you all. To use this great word epic in the headline of our panel. So I know that I sent you some questions before, and the question rising was, what would be your epic success in this relationship? But I will change the order. So I will ask you, what would be the epic fail for you to establish this kind of relationship? For example, Bojana now first.
Epic failure, how to say, for me it will be not managing to make this relationship work, because being a CHRO, I think that it's on me to try to build, to build this relationship and to bring this importance or added value in the strategic discussions with the CEO. So for me, I would definitely think that, I personally feel it as a failure if I don't make it. So I always see it as my blame, not the other side blame. But this is it's human. It's like, relationship, everyday relationship with a friend, with acquaintance. There are people that you can, make a connection with or not. But this is definitely this people bonding or chemistry between two people. There are people that you simply cannot have connection with. It's like, when I studied coaching, and I was always against it, there are some people that are not coachable. In my opinion, everyone is coachable, and I really want to prove that, but maybe I'm not just a good coach to some people, but somebody else would be. So this is but as I said, I always see it as a personal failure if I do not make it. And this is
quite a challenge, their role.
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
it is.
thank you. So Sanja, could you tell something from your personal experience, if you are willing to share? Like, what would be your epic failure in previous career?
Yeah, so I already mentioned that I worked with many CEOs. They're all, of course, different. And for me, building the contact and building this trust between each other was really something that make a huge impact on my career and also on my emotions and becoming more aware of myself. So if I would talk about the failure, especially in this relationship and bonding, like Bojana said, for me, it's for sure neglecting the relationship and lacking awareness of the impact that I could have at that moment on the other side. So probably my failure was that I didn't manage to build a relationship with that one person. And from this perspective, probably I would do it differently and invested more. Yeah, you can invest, but sometimes
it has to be on both sides.
Yeah, so it's two-way street. So basically, not using the voice and power that you have is also something that it's let's say regretting for. So.
Okay, thank you for this type of honesty. And Robert, just in short, and if you can give us like a concrete example of some of yours epic fails, it doesn't have to be an epic, but something that you learned from.
Hopefully it's not an epic, yes. Thank you. I was thinking about this issue, and basically I will try to be more specific. I mean, if I would name one of the failures, I will not turn only to the relationship between CEO and myself. I would go further in terms of my personal role as Chief HR Officer within our company. And in that case, I would be more specific on one certain topic, that after roughly a year on this position, I still haven't succeeded to fully and completely, let's say, sell the story to all stakeholders in our business about the importance and the value of putting talent on top of everyone's agenda. I mean, different levels, all the stakeholders, not talking about CEO now specifically, but different levels of management, people, leaders within the company. So this is something that, let's say, it's a big topic I need to work on together with my team. Our company as well, as most of the companies, we are very much focused on our financial plans, budgets, and we do the budgets in details down to the last penny, last dollar. Consequently, I mean, later it reflects how we actually allocate our time on our day-to-day job, daily business, everyday work, and it reflects because we are mainly focused on figures, operative work, etc., etc. People plan should go hand in hand together with financial plan as well. And there is no successful business plan without a great talent plan as well. And only then it makes sense, and only then all it comes together and bring value to the business. So if I would name one, it's exactly like that. That I haven't succeeded yet to put this on top of everyone's agenda. But I'm not a lonely cowboy in this. I know that a lot of my colleagues have the same struggle. So me and my team, we are working hard on it every day. So let's say it's a work in progress.
Okay, so then you can rely on your sales skills if the selling point is the obstacle for your further development.
Yes. I will do my best.
Can I comment something? Can I comment something? Yeah, what Robert has just said. No matter, I would just add one more thing. No matter how good you are at your role at CHRO, and no matter how good plans and strategy you have, and no matter how good relationship you have with your peers and with your subordinates, but the whole organization is looking at this relationship between you and your CEO. So if they do not see that it's coming from the CEO and it's not like supported by CEO, then all your big projects or plans and everything that you do will just fail. So this is, I mean, okay, this is it. This is how it is, and we can, like it or not. But I would just say that CHRO needs to have more like sales skills, and being trained in this area, because I thought only expertise and professionalism is something that you should put emphasis on. But definitely, selling skills is also something that is very important in our business.
Thank you, Bojana. I could add on operational level, that could be something like you're sending some important note to all the staff, and then you put your CEO in the CC. So that's the case, like he's or she is supporting this. So on operational level, it sometimes can look like that.
And
so
may I, Sonja, just one sentence to reflect. Basically, when we are talking, what does it mean to be really someone that is capable to understand business? So while sitting in the same room with other executives, sales, operations, supply chain, whatever, you have to understand the business on the level to challenge them in their field of experience. So it's not just sales, it's everything. If you really want to be on the same line and to be valuable from the perspective of others. So we have to understand that we are business leaders and then HR experts.
Yeah. Of course, I can give that, how could I say, support on that, because, for example, on my professional level, I'm a psychologist, and it was really quite challenging to understand all the KPIs, all the banking notes, all the on the other hand, some selling stories or financial indicators and etc. So I think that in HR, maybe that would be the field with the most different perspectives that you have to conquer at some point of your career. So while being on only one track, for example, development or recruitment or something like that, you can hold to yourself. But when you come to a business leader, you have to, you do not have any other option but to widen your experience. Okay, one question to bring this conversation on a happy side. So what would be your personal epic success in building a relationship to CEO? So Sanja, could you start?
Yeah, basically to build success, what does it mean? So for me, some tips to create, first of all, the let's say this epic relationship is to create the frame, as I said. So define how you want to work together, leverage on each other's strengths, challenge each other. And of course, do not assume that everything will be always good. You will have some challenging discussions, you will have fight between the 2 or 3 if you invite CFO, like Robert said. Reflect, give feedback, listen to each other. Be consistent on external and internal messages that you are sending in the organization. So those are some frames that you can work on. Define what does it mean to have each other as secure basis, because sometimes your CEO will rely on you, you will rely on him. You have to work on this. You have to build this frame together and to understand each other and to work on this frame that you have created to have epic success at the end.
But can you bring that something concrete that you think you did it right? For example, what would be the best first step to build the trust with CEO? It was also a question from someone, from the audience.
Yeah, the trust, as probably you all know, needs time to be built. So you have to show something. You have to create some results. You have to provide some benefits for the organization, for the people, for the end results in P&L at the end. So basically, this trust is something that you will deserve. This trust is something that you will build. How I did it, I have several, let's say, examples to share. And what is the most important is the organization that is growing, the organization that is creating and delivering results, and how we as HR are supporting this growth and development to people that we hire through our talent management strategies, through P&Ls and the results and costs that we have to be conscious of, and so on and so on. The impact that we create is also the people that we are leaving behind, the success that we create together. So the change that we create in the people in their careers. So today I'm really proud to say that I have so many HR heads and the chief HR officers being in charge of different companies in Serbia. This is success. The success is to have plenty of CEOs or directors in different fields that grew together with us. So to create trust, to build the trust, you need a time. But how to build it, you have to have honest relationship. You have to talk and you have to build it together with the other part, like in personal
in every
life.
relationship.
Yeah, so but this one is specific because you have to really deserve it. And you have to like it. Yeah.
Thank you. So we have maybe 10 minutes left, and for you, Robert and Bojana, to give your notes on this. And one last question for the end. So I would kindly ask you for a quick, how could I say, reflection of what Sanja has said, or maybe to add something, and to leave maybe the crucial question time to be answered at the end. So Robert, can you start, please?
Okay, I mean, not to repeat most of the things were said in a really right way. You know, it's a matter of trust, which was built on business results as well, and on the results which brings to this relationship really to mature. And luckily, you know, I know our CEO very well for long years, and my business background helped me a lot to have this kind of relationship, so we can have open discussions. And maybe, you know, just to add one other perspective, basically the relationship should go more like take me wrong, like more like brother-sister type of relationship, or brother-brother, when you can have internal fights. And
or sister, sorry.
Yes, sister, exactly. So basically,
for example,
when you have these internal fights, yes, or discussions, and you don't always agree on certain things, but once you get a certain kind of decision, you go out toward people, toward, let's say, external, like a one. But internally, we need to challenge each other, and this is what actually keep the organization and the processes moving. So I won't take too much time of this to leave Bojana as well to say a few words, and we can go.
Okay.
The worst thing is when you are left the last, so you know you just don't need to repeat everything. Yes, because it's
the first one for the last.
Yes, one. Yeah, something that we all know, that we all know, that we all do. But open communication, constant feedback, and deliverables. You just need to deliver and to walk the talk. It's not about talking; it's about doing what you agree on. And that's it. That is how this trust is being built, and honest and fair. So this is, with all open cards on the table all the time, and just if you also make a mistake, or if you get something wrong, just to say it, okay, and go on. So this is for me the most important things in building a trust between these two functions.
So thank you all, and sadly it's time to say goodbye. So our love to panelists who could not make it today, and all the best wishes. But on the other hand, the question above all questions, so what would be the best advice, a best piece of advice to a younger version of HR yourself? Bojana, what do you think? What would you do different?
Just repeat the question. I didn't hear it well.
What would be the best advice to a younger version of HR yourself?
Okay, when you start working in a company, or when you work, or you are just about to be, promoted, or to start a position in another company, for me, I would definitely try to look about the culture of that company, the way the business is being done, what is actually needed. There are always some kind of soft information that you can find in the market, of course, and with the discussion of the CEO, what he really wants, needs, and how he thinks some things should be done. So I think that in the past I would maybe talk more, and this is something that I learned through experience. Talking more and presenting many things with the figures and numbers. So it's not about, okay, we need to talk about engagement of people or to build the culture. Okay, why? And how to make culture and what it really means in numbers and figures. So this is definitely something that I think majority of HR lacks, and going more on this, how to say, financial, some education or trainings in order to understand, real business. So being open, talking more, knowing soft skills, and getting, some kind of a knowledge about, finance and figures, because all CEOs, they like talking numbers. It's not about, engagement and, trust of people, which is of course important, but, how does it reflect to the company's P&L?
Thank you, Bojana. Thank you very much. So I think I have the feeling that I could talk to you whole day, but I here in chat see that organizational members are inviting us to make this story to the end. So once again, thank you very much. And Robert, the same question to you, but kindly in short. And Sanja, last but not the least, your would be the punchline of this panel. So thank you all, guys. Robert?
Okay.
Thank you. As you said, my biggest advice would be put people first. I mean, if you're an HR or CEO, it doesn't matter which industry, size of the company, remember, put people in front of all your company assets, processes, technology, business model, monthly objectives, in front of your boss, board. Put people first. Put people in front of your career. Then you'll be able to make the right decisions. And then all this will come together: objectives, processes, company's top line, bottom line, and even your career. And to conclude, track, use technology developments, be data-driven, continuous improvements, of course. Learn, read, be informed, make connections, build network. But again, never forget, whatever technology will bring us and whatever development will come, people do business with people. People, human, are creating the value, and the value for the company and the value of the company as well. So no matter what, always put people first. Let's focus more on people. The most scarce resource is talent. So this is what you need to drive. At the end of the day, it brings the best payoff. Put people first.
Thank you. People first as a final note. And Sanja, drums.
Yeah. So first years of your career are very important. So choose carefully company with the culture and values that you would like to be part of, and choose carefully your first boss, because you can learn a lot from him. Finally, be caring and daring on your successful HR journey.
Thank you very much, all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.